So hi all. So this morning is the 3rd of June 2025, and this morning I'm dealing with the next few questions. So number 4 is, do I trust my blood tests and to tell me if I'm sick? The answer is yes. All my answers are yes. Anyway, so I have had 3 blood tests since I started on ketogenic diet. I never thought about having blood tests before that. I never was sent for any. I haven't been sent for these 3. The doctors don't even understand why I'm doing the blood tests. It was just I had probably somewhere along the line, someone said get a keto blood test to see is everything working. I had no real idea. Of course, I did biology in school, and when I did read my blood test, all of which I have over here, I was remembered a lot of basophils, eosinophils, all of these terms that I had kind of heard of in school, but they meant nothing to me until now. So the first blood test I got was maybe a year and a half ago. I'm on keto about 2 years, and I had nothing to go on. I wish I had taken a blood test before I started to see what the difference was. So that was my first blood test. So it looked pretty good in terms of, so I assumed that I had gotten better in some way. And my cholesterol was higher than normal. The doctor offered me a statin. I really still had no understanding of cholesterol benefits. I didn't really, all I knew was what everybody else knows is that cholesterol is bad for you, kind of thing. And if your cholesterol's too high, you have to go on a statin or whatever. But I held back because I did a bit of research. What I always do, then I do research. Sometimes I do too much research and I'm researching forever. So I did my research and I've gotten a bit tighter on making decisions based on research. So the research showed me that the cholesterol was not a bad reading if it was too high, just because it was red on their thing. And I would wait and I would see what my next result was, which was higher cholesterol. But what I discovered was, and then LDL apparently is the bad cholesterol. So what I discovered was, in the meantime, I followed this guy, Dr. Lustig, not just him, many doctors, but he is an actual medical doctor, and he is involved with a thing called levels, but he also wrote Metabolical. So he said LDL is made up of, no, he didn't just say this is scientifically proven. LDL is made up of good LDL and bad LDL. Good LDL is large, buoyant. Bad LDL is small dense. Small dense can get through the junctions in your intestine. So that cholesterol can leak out and cause leaky gut and that kind of stuff. So that's not good and can cause clogging and whatever. So I assumed, and I think correctly, although unproven because I have not got that. You can get a special blood test even in Ireland to divide up your particles to see what percentage is large buoyant of your LDL and small dense. So you will know. So I assume, because small dense are only created by a high refined carbohydrate diet. So I assumed from my blood test, first blood test, that my LDL was mainly large buoyant. In my second blood test, I assumed it's more mainly large buoyant, and I'll tell you why. Because the triglyceride to HDL ratio is more likely to indicate your cardiovascular risk, and mine went down substantially. So in the first blood test, my triglyceride to HDL ratio was 1.3. It's supposed to be under 1.5. So mine was actually very good. But when my second blood test, when I did strict, in the middle of this 2 years, I did brilliantly strict keto, and I walked every day, minimum 10,000 steps. So I went into what I would call my purple patch. I'm obviously out of it at the moment. But anyway, I went into what I would call my purple patch. I got to my ideal weight, which is 154 is my ideal weight. I was at 156. I looked amazing, felt amazing, everything. But it takes a bit of effort to be that fit and healthy. It takes a bit of effort, especially when you have a lot of other things to do. So my triglyceride to HDL ratio was now 0.423 to infinity. So I had reduced my cardiovascular risk by a substantial amount. And then my one after that was a little bit higher because it had gone, so I think it was 0.8 or 0.6 or something. So it was still very, very good. but I had gone back eating carbs over Christmas. I had gotten my third blood test probably at a bad time when I had had months of eating, kind of going back, because I had been on a training course. I was up away at hotels, and you're drinking and eating because everybody else is having cocktails when you shouldn't have them on a Monday. But anyway, so and you do that. That's part of life. That's part of life. So um, so that is where I take my cue from. It's the triglyceride to HDL ratio. So my cardiovascular risk is very, very low. And that is actually more accurate than the cholesterol argument. So the LDL is made up of two types of LDL. So all LDL is not equal. It's not bad. But the small dense LDL is bad. And that small dense LDL is only created by refined carbohydrates. So 1 and 1 equals 2. These things are scientifically proven. I don't really need to go off and get my LDL checked. I do want to. It's quite, I think it's about 600 euros or something to get that special test done. I must investigate it a little bit more, but you can get it done in Ireland now. And I think you might have to go into a clinic somewhere and get it, because they don't do it. I've asked in the not in the pharmacy, I've asked in the GP. They do the kind of normal range of stuff, but anything specialized, you have to go to a specialist clinic. So I am going to hopefully get that done. And along with other things that I'd like to get done that cost quite a bit of money. You have to think out whether it's, for me, I am very comfortable in feeling that even though on paper my cholesterol is in the red, when you get back your blood test, I don't know if I asked the GP, you're entitled to your own data. I asked the GP, which is the good thing about GDPR now, is allowing ordinary Joes like myself to get my own blood results sent to me. And I'm entitled to get them. So if the secretary says, or the GP says you can't have them, that is not true. You're entitled to your own results. So I get them to email them to me. I then print them out so that I can see the red. So anyway, my cholesterol is in red, is of no concern whatsoever to me. So then the fifth question is, do I believe that high cholesterol is better than low cholesterol? Yes, that is the answer to that one. Number 6, do I believe that the triglyceride to HDL ratio is a better check for the heart disease? Yes, that is scientifically proven. Have a look anywhere you look. All this information is out there. Of course, it doesn't suit big pharma. It doesn't suit medicine, because this is not what they're being taught. A lot of the medical doctors that are involved now with keto and stuff, they say that they have been vilified for years because it's free. The answer to the health question, the answer to obesity, the answer to dementia, the answer to cancer, all of these things is free. It's diet related. But of course, we don't want to accept that. And when I was growing up, the doctor was sacrosanct, even when he was wrong or she was wrong, which was many, many times. I've had that experience myself. That's specifically to me. But anyway, so at number 7, do I believe you can reverse dementia and Alzheimer's? I do believe that. I think that dementia and Alzheimer's are avoidable, and I do think that they are preventable, and I do think that they are reversible. Maybe not 100% depending on the damage that's done, but I would advise anybody to read Dr. Dale Bretterson. He is a doctor, a real medical doctor. If any of you are thinking he's a clown, he's a real medical doctor who has moved into the space. He has written several books now, but the main one that he would be known for is The End of Alzheimer's Dementia. And people think everything is genetic. There is an element of epigenetics where our body will do something, but only based on a bad diet. So if I have a poor diet, it might display as cancer in me, which tends to be the situation in my family. It might be a stroke or a heart attack in somebody else's family. It might be dementia, Alzheimer's in somebody else's family. But it's all from the same thing, refined carbohydrates. And it's to avoid these. My general rule is no carbs in the morning. If you're going to have carbs, no carbs in the morning at all. So it's eggs and bacon for us. I just have coffee with heavy cream. I tend not to eat breakfast because I don't know, it suits me. I've tried, but I do sometimes. It might be a long weekend or something, I might have breakfast in the morning, but in general, I have a coffee with heavy cream, which doesn't spike my insulin. It's all about controlling the insulin. It's all about not being insulin resistant. And have a fabulous day. It's now 10 minutes. I'm on. Oh my God, I didn't intend to be on this long. Talk to you later. Bye.